G'day Warbanders, and today we're going to be checking out Strat Gaming's video. This is going to be a reaction video, and I'm going to give my thoughts on his review. Is Bannerlord worth it, or is it worth it? Brutally honest Bannerlord review. And I'll give you my honest view on his video. Alright, get straight into it.
In this video, I want to share with you my personal thoughts.
By the way, this video is one of the biggest viewed videos on YouTube like as a review. So I feel like even though it's like 6 months old, I feel like it still has relevancy because it's the biggest review on YouTube, I think. And yeah, that's why I'm reviewing it.
On Bannerlord as a game, both good and bad. With over 3,800 hours in the bank,
shut up!
I feel confident enough to give a fair assessment up to this point in the game's development. And at the very end, I'll share some suggestions that I think would really help to improve its quality and enjoyment. If I had to describe Bannerlord in a single...
You think Tailwards listens to suggestions by players? No. They don't at all, man. Like, come on. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to me. I wish they did, but they do mostly stick inside their own company. They mostly stick to their own circles. They rarely communicate with the player base at all. I never see them on their forums. They only address the community in public, official announcements. So their communication skills are very poor in terms of the community.
Single sentence, it would be a very long one. It's a medieval simulation with a deep combat system, but it's also an RPG.
It's not a medieval simulation, bro. It's a war game. You go to war with your knights and you ride around and you kill everybody. It's not a medieval simulation. There are elements, like character elements. There's a little bit of feudalism because there is a succession system in the game where you can become the king via a voting system, but that's not, it's very simplistic. But that's okay. Bannerlord does not have to be completely complex on every area in every game system they have. So like, RPG, strategy, or, family mechanics, or like Sims mechanics, Bannerlord's not going to do this all perfect.
With many skills to level up, hundreds of perks to choose from, and thousands upon...
People don't like the perk system or the new system that Bannerlord's bringing, but I like it. It has a lot of cool perks that I like to try out. I do feel like two lines of perks for each skill is a little bit limiting, but the perks are really meaningful. At release, none of them worked. But yes, yeah. I feel like the system is pretty decent at what trying to do.
Thousands of possible character builds to invent, but it's also a kingdom management simulator, a story generator,
simple kingdom management,
and
story generator. Oh, I hate when people say that. You can't really, yeah, you can make a story in your head, I suppose, but that's it really. Don't oversell it, Strat Gaming.
List many of the things. None of these aspects of Bannerlord by themselves is particularly unique.
True.
Mordhau and Chivalry both have great combat systems.
But I think Bannerlord is the best, obviously. That's why I don't play those games, because I think Bannerlord is the best. Bannerlord actually has, you're doing fighting for a reason. You're fighting for your kingdom, you're fighting, as a vassal. In Chivalry and Mordhau, you're just fighting team deathmatch. Like, that has no meaning with it. I feel like they do have superior medieval, they have superior combat system, but it's just, I feel like Bannerlord has the bigger battles and the scale of entire armies. That's just cool. And it's simple to learn, but hard to master.
Systems. Skyrim has limitless.
Oh, get that off the screen! I hate Skyrim. I only like Skyrim for the booby mods, bro. That's all I like Skyrim for. That's real. Skyrim's a piece of shit, and it should never have been released, bro. Like, to the public, that's ruined RPGs, bro. Like, people compare Skyrim with other games, bro. It's so annoying. That's just my brutally honest take with Skyrim, dude. Don't cry at me in the comments.
Character builds. The Total War franchise games all have...
Yeah, Total War is so average, bro. Like, so average. It's all spectacle and no strategy. So that's all I'll say, man. Like, I know Bannerlord has some elements of Total War, but like, Bannerlord literally has more strategy in some areas. Because Total War is just do the same tactic over and over again. It's so boring. Like, you do the same hammer and anvil tactic. You hold him here, you get your cavalry around the sides, and you just kill everything. Like, that's so boring. And, historical accuracy is very meh. Like, it's very bad. So I don't know why people point to these games as historical games. Like, you should go play Napoleon Total War if you want to do real Napoleon warfare. Those games are shit. Brutally honest, brutally honest.
And expansion. And while Bannerlord has some romance, Kingdom Come Deliverance also covers that. Not to mention these gems.
Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of the best mobile games I played. Like, I love the combat system. I love Bohemia. I love it.
On Steam.
Oh, but look at those hentai games. It looks sick.
Game that I can think of attempts to bring all of these elements together in a single package. Bannerlord's strengths are also its weaknesses, but more on that later.
Yeah.
Let's start with the good. When starting a new game, we're
great. But that's okay. Like, you don't have to be perfect in all the areas, because that's the point. It's a hybrid. You know? It's going to be a little bit less in depth because they want to fit everything into the game. They want to make everything, you know, like a game, you know? It can't have everything as in depth because it's got to, you know, not be feasible to make that.
Many options, from culture to how we look, and even the...
You know, culture wasn't in Warband. Like, you couldn't choose your culture, and that's in Bannerlord. That's pretty cool. And the character creation is the best.
Backstory and starting stats we spawn.
I love the character
creation is extremely important in RPG.
It's also the best character creation I've done, like I've seen in the game. I think, like, yeah, I like it. It's one of the best I've played with like the best character creation. And the sigils are a little bit
RPGs, and Bannerlord is no exception. I've had some fun creating characters like Julius Caesar, Elon Musk, and even Lord Farquaad.
What's this guy's obsession with Elon Musk, dude? All he does is like post Elon Musk on his thumbnails. He must love that dude, eh? His rocket blew up recently, eh? Lord Farquaad,
from Shrek. Needless to say, the customization is vast, and by the time we reach the end game,
you can't beat Mountblade's character customization, dude.
We'll have gone through thousands of choices to reach the final character build. Prefer to fight on the front line as a common soldier? You can do that. Are you
boring? I'm just gonna say that it's boring to play as the soldier in the army because there's no mechanics helping that. It's all modded. Even in Warband, where you could play the soldier, it was pretty boring to me. Like, it could be good for roleplay, but that's it.
Are you conservative? Sword and shield are a safe bet. Are you a maniac?
I'm a maniac. Like, two-handed is the most skill-based weapon in the game. That's the same thing that happened in Warband. Like, you know, you can run around naked with a two-hand sword. That's so epic. And you can do that in Bannerlord as well, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, sword and shield, you know, it's good for multiplayer. But in single player, the bots are not that smart, so you can get away with two-handed all the time, bro.
Grab a two-handed axe and get after it. Are you old like me with crappy reflexes?
No, I'm not. I'm 20.
I suggest bow or crossbow. Perhaps you're of noble stock and prefer to lead an army instead.
Fight for me, my lord! Fight for me! Fight for me! I'm your lord! Fuck yeah, dude.
An intelligence-focused build would be a better fit. Not only can you recruit a larger army, but their wages will be significantly reduced.
Bro, he's cheating. What the fuck? He's cheating, dude. What the heck?
Talk about different builds for hours. It's what keeps me coming back for more after all this time. But
I love trying out the different play styles and all that Bannerlord. It's really satisfying to try different things. Granted, it could get repetitive when you tried out all the things. You know, that's with every game. That's with every game, bro.
Options and freedom don't stop with character creation. As our campaign progresses, we have many paths to pick from. We could avoid combat altogether.
Workshops are so, like, broken. Like, they're not broken, but, like, they're just easy money makers. I just feel like, you know, some people complain, like, you can't, like, make money off them, but you can. They're just stupid and they just put them in the wrong places. So, like, you know, it's like, oh, put the silversmith where the silver is. It's like, it's dead. It's that easy, bro. It's that easy. Come on.
Together and become an oligarch, creating monopolies of certain trade goods.
Yeah, this is the way you make money in Bannerlord. And using exploits. But, like, I don't use exploits. I hope he doesn't use exploits. He might be using exploits. I don't know.
Recruiting massive fleets of trading caravans, and even buy towns and castles from other nobles and turn them.
Yeah, that's a OPS perk where, like, there's a perk in the game where you can buy land. It's so overpowered when you get a lot of money. Like, you just buy shit and like you buy fucking castles, bro. I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, tell me a game where you can do that where you just buy castles in a game like Bannerlord. Like,
money printers. How about traveling town to town, competing in local tournaments to gain fame?
The tournaments are, like, decent, but, like, they get repetitive after a while, you know, man. Like, they're fun. but they're only good for the early game and all that.
In fortune, or completing quests for local
heroes. Like I got my entire armor from tournaments, but then I just don't go back because I make enough money. Because they only give you enough money in tournaments and Warband. They give you like so much money.
Trying to earn relations and favor until we can join them as a mercenary or vassal.
Mercenary.
But my personal favorite, playing as a rogue bandit only party from the.
I like playing as a rogue bandit, but I also be a mercenary as well. So I run around as like the mountain that rides kind of thing, where I just burn down villages and make money off that way. Really fun to play.
Steps, looting and pillaging everything in sight. I hope it's obvious to see that Bannerlord offers myriad options for how to play in your own style. Let's take a closer look at some of the more polished aspects of Bannerlord, starting with the melee combat.
Most polished aspect is probably being the king and the combat system, like he says here.
Combat system. I'll be the first to admit, I sucked at melee combat for a very long time.
Bet you did.
It's fast-paced, brutally unforgiving, and
play multiplayer, dude. Like I bet this guy's not going to mention multiplayer, even though it's a decent component in Mount & Blade. I play multiplayer. Even though it's a single player focused game, multiplayer is pretty good in this game. He completely ignores it. Completely ignores it.
And completely addicting. There are some options to make life easier, such as turning down the AI skill, reducing.
I never do that. Only shooters do that, bro. Realistic all the way.
Incoming damage you take, and an auto block option. But I'm a masochist and I never bothered using any of these. Once a basic level of proficiency is reached with blocking, though, the dopamine spike begins. It can be a ton of fun to join a shield wall and push forward,
not really.
Or even...
Like, look at that. You're blobbed in there. You're not. It's just gonna get hit randomly. Like, it's not fun being in a blob.
Fight on the periphery and rolling up the enemy's flanks.
Like in multiplayer, it's way different because people actually fear for their lives, and they don't just stick in a blob like
Mounted combat is a blast as well.
It's the best horse combat I've seen in the game. Like, fight me, bro. Fight me. Put in the comments. Like, comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me if there's a better horse combat game than Bannerlord. Like, if there's better horse combat. Like, Bannerlord just has the best horse combat. The most realistic, too, I think.
Brings back memories of playing X-Wing on Windows 95.
The fuck? This guy's a boom, bro. I don't know what he's talking about.
1,000-unit battles at full gallop. Thrusting archers, crashing into the rear flank of an infantry formation, it never gets old. Even to this day, I still get cut down in battles frequently, either from a random projectile or simply being outplayed.
Yeah, that's Mount & Blade for you, though. Like, you're not a superhero. You can get hit by an arrow and you go down. That's real life. Like, you know, King Harold in the conquest of England, he got it's believed that he got hit. Like, I don't know if it's real or not, but he got hit by an arrow in the eye, and that ended the war. Like, straight up.
Giving me that urge to keep trying to continue to hone my skills. There are certain aspects of Bannerlord where the attention to detail is amazing.
Yeah, it's always trying to get as many kills as possible in Bannerlord.
It's almost a work of art. Two examples that come to mind are crafting and the maps.
Crafting is overpowered as fuck. I don't know how powerful it is in this current build of the game, but I only use it to craft like one weapon and that's it. Because it's really, like in the olden days, you could sell javelins to lords and it was so overpowered. I haven't tested it, but I hope they fix that, because I never touched the crafting because of that.
1,519 weapon parts to unlock between 12 different categories. While not all 1,500 are unique to each category, there are still thousands of good weapon combinations to be had. From legit builds like the Executioner's
I never seen anything like this in a game where you craft your own sword and the blade and that it changes all over the place. Like, you can just make it like meaty and, like, you know, big, like, you can make any sword you want, bro.
Mighty Satan's Tooth.
Even though the money making of smithing is so broken, the crafting of the actual sword is really in depth.
The memes become dreams build, such as the umbrella dagger or the pike length BDSM spank.
Wait, that's naked, bro. Like, get that.
There's something for everyone. It's incredibly fun to customize weapons for.
Bro, stop exploiting the game, bro. Look, he's exploiting the game by sitting on the ladder doing that. The AI does not know what to do, so like he just sits there and does that. Bro, get up that ladder and stop exploiting the AI.
For specific needs, like a long axe to destroy shields during a siege, or a short
those are OP
for
weapons,
close quarters
like
combat.
long axes.
But even smithing pales in comparison to the map design. Towns are huge with tons of intricate
Bannerlord has
details
great
and
map
NPCs
design.
roaming
Shame
about,
that we don't have a lot to do with it.
It would have been easy to create cookie cutter layouts for each town, changing a few
but they did
assets
every
and the
unique
color
scene,
scheme,
bro, I
then
think.
calling it a day. Instead, we get scenes like this. It's easy to get sucked into the world.
Oh, that's the 7-point star from Game of Thrones, bro. That's sort of sick.
But now we must pivot.
Wait, is that? I thought it was a rat for a second. It's actually a fish.
Bannerlord. Okay, not literally. I mean, we need to look at its shortcomings. As I mentioned earlier, Bannerlord combines many things into a single game, but suffers from
That's okay. That's okay, dude. That's okay.
Of all trades and master of none. Take, for example, the previous...
But that's with any hybrid in any game. Like, you're not going to get in-depth systems in every mechanic.
Section covering these beautiful towns. Most people don't realize how well done the maps are because there's no incentive to explore them.
There is 2 incentives, actually. One, you want to go talk to a workshop and to, like, you know, purchase it. But you can do it through the campaign screen, but, like, not the... You can't buy the specific workshop you want, I believe. And 2, you can do criminal stuff as of this new update, which this video is pretty old, like 6 months. So there's been a new update where you can, you know, do lots more criminal stuff and take over alleyways. That's been the case at release. You can take over alleyways. Granted, it was a bit poor, the implementation of the alleyway criminal stuff, but, you know, there's 2 things you can do in the city. He's saying there's none. That's not correct.
Them in the first place. Most tasks can be completed from the campaign map without ever stepping foot.
But that's for ease of play. That's for the gameplay, so you can not run around too. Like imagine you have to go to the store, like in the town, the store every time to sell stuff. Like that's very boring. I could see why they didn't want you to like force you to go into the town for all the things.
No quests and no reason to look around. One of my biggest complaints with Bannerlord is the grind. While the devs have done a great job making progress...
Every game has grind. Every RPG has grind, bro. There's no getting around it. Online games have grind. It depends if that grind's like fun. And the grind in Bannerlord is fun. Like if you go my play style, which is, you know, kill everything in sight and loot like after battles, that's fun. Like I don't mind that grind. That's fun. It depends if you're gonna go smithing or like trading. Like you know, this is the thing. Like every play style is viable. Or like, you know, you can do anything. Like the place, like they might not be as viable as this one or this one, but you know, you can still do it. Like it makes money.
In this area, there are still several others that need some love. Smithing has seen 2 or 3 major overhauls in the last 2 years, but one thing that is
I don't care about smithing,
is the weapon part unlock grind. In order to unlock,
I only build like 1 sword and that's it. Like I wouldn't go and expecting like a smithing simulator game. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Parts we need to craft or smelt weapons. It's a very logical system. The problem is it can take up to an hour or more per weapon category to unlock all parts from scratch.
If you want a specific sword, you probably have to grind for that, I suppose.
12 categories in total.
It is what it is. You don't have to grind that if you don't want to. Like the game's not forcing you to do that. Like forcing you to grind for a sword you want. Like you can just not make the sword and make a different sword.
While working on unlocks, there isn't much else to do. We simply craft, smelt, wait, and...
But can't you craft, then do other shit, then come back when you want to craft? Like, you know, it's just like he's making a bit too much, you know.
And repeat.
He's over-exaggerating.
Smithing isn't the only grind to worry about, though. Certain skills are dreadfully...
I don't worry about smithing because I never use it. Like, it's just a non-issue.
To level up. Tactics, for example, is the current worst offender. You gain tactics XP when your troops get kills in battle or when you sacrifice troops to avoid battle. In one campaign, I had maxed out how fast XP is earned for this skill, and after 30 years of constant warfare and conquering the whole map with my main character, I was still 30 levels short of the final perk. That's well over 100.
I mean, you know, this is I can't really defend against that, but you know, if you're gonna like, you know, you're not gonna be a great commander overnight. You know, that's the thing with Bannerlord. Like, you know, you're gonna grind it out. Like, you gotta keep doing the things to level up. You know, it's that kind of leveling system. But I totally get where he's coming from. Like, it's a little bit too grindy in some skills. But I don't know. This has probably been changed. This is 6 months old. Like, this is what I don't like about these reviews from these Bannerlord creators. They don't update them. I update my videos saying outdated when the game gets updated. And people get misled. Let me go to the new. People get misled, you know. I watched this once and I'm bored. This video is 6 months old. It's outdated. Don't listen to him. At least put outdated next to your video. Or make a new video with the updated portions game. Because some of these things have been changed.
150,000 kills over the full campaign, and with nobody left on the map, I had nobody else to grind against. Sometimes I feel like Bannerlord puts the MMO grind to shame. One final
Not
point
really.
on this topic.
MMO is way more grindy than fucking Bannerlord, dude.
These are NPCs we can hire or marry to help us in our campaign. They can lead troops in battle, run their own armies.
Yeah, I feel like the randomly generated companions are a bit of a miss, but like, you know, really a non-issue for me. I can still roleplay in my head who they are, like with any game that has randomly generated stuff in it.
In our main party, like Scout or Surgeon. In order for companions to be useful, they need to level up.
And he's kind of like a mathematics-based Bannerlord YouTuber. Like he just breaks down the stats. I'm not about that, so you never find that on my YouTube channel. So don't come to my channel thinking I'm going to break down the stats and all that, because that's just I run off like personal experience, not, you know, grinding down these stats.
Good perks. Some skills are relatively easy to level up, but the majority are incredibly tedious and painful. For example, a good army captain needs plenty of combat skills to be useful. We could equip them with a weapon and put them on the front line in battle, but
I don't really use them for combat. I use them for support roles, like building siege engines, like that skill that makes me build faster, or like scouting, or, you know, those type of levels, you know.
Often than not, they get 1 to 3 kills and then get killed themselves.
Yeah, but, you know, you're not supposed to use them as like a melee unit, you know. Like that's hard to level up. I know that, but like you never really use companions for that when you can just use a normal unit, you know.
In order to reach the higher levels, they will need hundreds, if not thousands of kills to get there. Playing with death enabled, they have a base rate of 2% to die each time they go to 0.
And this way says they die before they get to the
kills to reach the
goal. But this may have changed, you know.
Kills per battle, and
I haven't tested this because I don't really use a lot of companions in my campaigns.
They usually die more. It will
take
a few,
250
battles to get the XP,
and you know, that's part of the roleplay, bro. Like your companions, they can die in battle and then they can fall. Like you're not gonna get this OP, you know, RPG party which just wrecks everything, bro. You're not gonna get that, bro. You're not gonna break the game.
So they will go down in battle 125 times. At 2% chance, the expectation value of dying before they get there
like, this could be adjusted in the mod,
which means they would
really
have
a
to
non-issue.
be pretty lucky not to die. It forces us to take these companions into babysitting battles that are completely unnecessary.
But you don't have to do that if you're, you know, if you're trying to min-max this game. Of course it's going to be tedious. But why are you min-maxing this game? Don't understand.
Time sink. While the previous issues are concerning, they're also
this guy's like a min-maxer. He does the exploits and like whatever. Never role plays probably. But yeah, that I'm not gonna, you know, talk shit. But like, you know, I don't think min-max is the way to play with Bannerlord. Like you got to have some house rules to make it fun.
Easier to fix than the next topic, the AI. We have to break this up into 2 sections.
The AI is not that bad compared to some AAA games I know. Like the AI is pretty decent for what it does. And you can get a better mods for it as well, I believe.
Starting with the combat AI. There are times when the AI makes smart decisions, but the vast majority of the time they don't, leaving me scratching my head.
Any AI does that, bro. The AI is never going to be good.
Okay, they're not that bad. For example...
Yeah, that's right. They're not that bad. Because you're going to get 1,000 people on your screen fighting, bro. They can't have a complex AI for each one of them. You know what I mean? Like, Total War has the same problem. They don't have complex behaviors where they can run around and kill people like in Bannerlord, you know. AI is a pretty hard business to do in video games, and I feel like Bannerlord does a pretty decent job.
All small battles against melee troops devolve into a single blob hive mind.
This has been changed. Like, they've adjusted this behavior recently where they don't blob up as much. And I believe they took that from Realistic Battle Mod, which I don't really like. Like, I've played a few times with it, and it just turns the game to a slower slugfest. I'm not really interested in.
Strategy where every unit seeks the shortest path.
This
to
has
the
been
target,
changed,
no
I believe.
matter the cost. You end up with something.
But you know, this was in Warband. This guy's never played Warband. I think he just plays Bannerlord, not Warband. So, like, what he sees as bugs are like, you know, these are like this is gameplay that's been in Warband, you know. So I don't really have a problem with this.
It looks like this.
This is a bit funny, yeah.
Much more concerning is the army.
Look, they get him in the end.
Versus army battle, though. Enemy cavalry will either charge straight.
This has been changed. They charge straight past. They hit, and they come around and try and hit you like they come around and hit you again, like actual real cavalry. So they don't just stand there,
odds, or they sit idly while getting picked off. They don't stand there.
But you're not letting them attack them, bro. Like you're not telling them to charge. Of course they're gonna stand there and get hit. What's the point, bro? Oh, they're dumb for like staying there because you told them to stand there. Okay, like tell them to charge, bro.
Enemy horse archers follow much of the same logic, attacking into impossible.
No, they have better behaviors nowadays in this update, where they can actually circle around units and pluck arrows. They're actually pretty good. That's why Khuzaits are so overpowered, I believe, in the early days, but now they're not. But you know, this is an outdated video. I'll say that. But look at these new comments, bro. Look at these new comments, bro. Like people are like still saying like they're still being swayed by this old ass video that's outdated. Because you know, Tail Wars has done some updates, bro.
But at least they circle around the outside. They often bug out and run straight through a shield wall formation to certain death. When the time comes for the shield walls to finally meet, it turns into a giant meat grinder. This ordeal generally lasts no more than a minute, which is insane.
And that's actually okay, because you know I don't want battles to last too long. Like in Bannerlord, it's a war game, so you're gonna be fighting a ton of battles to get to your objective. So you want to take this castle, you're gonna fight all these battles, bro. And if they're going to all last 30 minutes, it's going to take hours upon hours to, you know, get your objective. It's going to slow down the game, and it's going to make the game even more grindier. So I don't mind it lasting like 5-10 minutes, like
500 versus 500 troop battle. With casualties piling up quickly, there's no time for tactics. It's all about piling as many bodies into the.
I wouldn't say that. Like, you know, if you're fighting a bigger army, you're obviously going to have to use bigger. Like, you're going to have to use better tactics. Like I was outnumbered 1-2 or 2-1, and I had to take this hill and like really hold it with my archers, and it was so epic. Like I had Khuzaits coming after me, like circling around my formation, and it's like I had like these archers trying to shoot them off because I had no, horse archers. You know, this has been changed.
Great as you can. Combat AI isn't the only concern though. The campaign map AI is equally egregious. They suffer from the same hive mind tactics that melee troops do in combat. I've seen many instances where a large army wouldn't siege a town because it was too distracted chasing tiny parties that can out.
That does not happen anymore. Like I haven't seen that in my gameplay. The game's been updated, bro.
Outrun them easily.
Time to put that outdated tag on your video.
I've seen armies begin a siege with a much larger enemy force only
again,
seconds away.
That was probably the case a few months ago, but not the case now, I believe. I haven't seen this behavior. Unless someone in the comments can tell me, hey, you're wrong. Well, yeah, DM me. My Discord is Fellington 4606. Tell me if this behavior is still in the game. I believe they've tweaked it to make it a bit better.
From them, causing them to get captured and lose everything. But the worst offenders can be seen while trying to run a kingdom. Allied parties will rush to the closest enemy siege to try to defend, then suddenly switch targets and end up defending nothing.
I believe this has been
After
fixed.
the AI takes a fief, they will quickly move as far away from it as they can, all but ensuring a tiny enemy party can swoop in and take it back. There's very little focus on defending recent conquests, and it feels like you're playing with headless chickens.
Yeah, but like I haven't seen this behavior in a long time. Like I think I've seen it in the early, like a while back, but like it's been fixed now.
It doesn't stop there though. While at war with several kingdoms, your allies will incessantly call votes for more war with other kingdoms.
It's a war game, so they're going to do that. You know, peace gameplay in Bannerlord is not that great. I'm gonna be real. That's the only flaw of this game. Being at peace is really boring. Like you're just going to be recruiting troops, killing bandits, or like killing these minor factions that you have beef with, and that's kind of it. You know, this is a war game. I don't mind constant warfare. This is the entire setting. The setting revolves around constant warfare. So you know, he's complaining about a feature of the game.
While I'm not sure if this is a bug or a feature, it can oftentimes be harder to expand your kingdom because of your vassals rather than your enemies. Before we get into improving the game, I want to cover one final topic because this is probably the biggest issue facing Bannerlord. While the other issues covered are concerning, they can, for the most part, be overlooked. But this final point cannot. I'm referring to the dark void that is the late game content. Once you,
bro, every game, like late game content, like not every game has, you know, a lot of content in the late game. Every game has this problem where you get your You've gone very strong, and no one can oppose you. Like every game has that. Even Paradox games, they have that problem. So when you get to that point, I think it's time to start a new campaign, dude. Like I don't think that's a fault of the game because that's a common issue across a lot of strategy games where you're too powerful to be beat.
You've established a kingdom and recruited a couple nobles.
Yeah, so it's time to start a new campaign. Like stop playing the game, stop boring yourself, man. Like you're just harming your enjoyment by just sticking it out. You know,
game has literally nothing else to offer. There's no new mechanics that open up.
Yeah, even other games don't have other things to offer. Like if you play into the Cold War and like Hearts of Iron 4, which I fucking hate, like that game, there's nothing to do in the Cold War era. Like you just play around, do what you want. Like that's the same thing about
random events to add a challenge. No diplomacy exists for the.
I will agree though. I would love an invasion DLC or some kind of like big invasion comes from like the Far East or something like that. That was sick. That would be a sick thing.
Weaker kingdoms to team up and oppose you. No.
And another thing, which I don't think he mentions, is I like other kingdoms to rise up. There's already a rebellion system in the game, but I feel like there should be some independent kingdoms that rise up and they form their own faction.
Missions to complete, nothing. There's literally nothing. The only thing left to do is to conquer the world. And as we discussed already, the campaign map AI is awful and presents no threat to you. Sieges become routine and boring. Handing off fiefs to nobles boring.
If you don't like the game, you're not gonna like the gameplay loop. Every game has a loop. There's no like scale of unique content. You're gonna exhaust that unique content eventually. So I don't get that complaint. Every game has that. Oops.
Raising kids to adulthood takes decades, oftentimes well after the world is already conquered. There's one thing though, and it's probably my favorite part about Bannerlord.
But you can die in combat. Yeah, that's my favorite part. But you can die in combat, bro. He probably has that turned off, but I have that turned on. If you die in combat, your heir takes over.
New campaign to try something different. I need to preface.
Yeah, that's what everyone does. That's the solution to your problem here.
This next section. I have no experience in game design, programming, or running a game development
That's
studio.
The thing.
My
People
expertise is limited to collecting
data. So
it
may seem easy to add all the stuff you're talking about, but to developers, it's probably not.
Silly videos for YouTube, and I'm not naive enough to think I know better than others who do this for a living.
I don't know better either.
Everyone is stupid except me.
That said, I do have some ideas that I think would really help make Bannerlord a better, more well-rounded game. For starters, something needs to be done about the late game. I think some inspiration can be drawn from...
They have bad late games, bro. What are you talking about? They are bad. Like, all you do is blob. Like, the same thing like Bannerlord. You blob... You take your land and you take a screenshot and show it to Reddit, bro. That's what people do.
Paradox in terms of
They're not examples, bro.
Kingdoms could team up together to stop or at least slow down the rapid expansion. I would also love to see some RNG events, such as
no. RNG events, yeah. It might be nice, but I would have that as an option, bro. But I don't think Telwood's going to add this.
Within a kingdom and splitting off into their own rebellion, or maybe a massive invasion from an...
That's the one I like. With massive invasion, you gotta fire it off. That's epic.
Off-map culture that would spawn 5,000 troops and start taking fiefs to establish their own kingdom. Literally anything would be better than the current void that exists. Alternatively, I think a few more campaign options would go a long way. I'll take a page from several mods here for inspiration because they are incredible ideas. Serve as a Soldier is a mod that allows you to join an army from day one and progress up the ranks. It would be a really fun experience to play
only for roleplay. Only for roleplay.
Campaign as a lonely soldier, working your way up the ranks.
You get such little money, bro, compared to the other real game mechanics.
Eventually commanding the whole.
I don't know if it's been updated. Though. I don't install it. That's the problem.
Kingdom by force. The Fubari mod adds several.
Oh, this is a great mod. I love this mod.
That would be a great addition to the.
It adds like assassinations, like prison. I think prison break's already game, but whatever. And destabilize those. I would wish still in the base game. So that's a good
mod.
Being able
to take over and own hideouts as if they were fiefs would be a great start. Building up a criminal network inside towns in order to extort locals, sell illegal goods, and even assassinate nobles could add a lot of flavor to. And finally, realistic battle mod has a great fix for the combat.
I don't like that mod, bro. It changes way too much. Way too much. Like it turns the game to like a pseudo Total War, bro. I don't like that. You know when Total War games were like the AI, like the soldiers, they sit at the back and do nothing? That's what happens in this mod, bro. At least the AI in Bannerlord actually attacks. Everyone's attacking. In this mod, everyone's sitting at the back sometimes and just, letting their buddies take the hits. Like it's really, it's a mix. Like I have a mixed reception with this mod, bro. Like I like it, but like I would rather stick to the vanilla.
AI. Rather than being hive mind suicide robots, troops actually fight more methodically, almost as if they fear death. It does slow down
when they
the
get
pace
close,
of battles a bit,
some of them are going to stick back. See that one?
New world of advanced tactics
that one in the back, bro?
That aren't possible.
They're all sitting at the
base
back.
Game.
They're waiting their turn. Like
that's
boring.
To fix a base game is less than ideal, but I'm pragmatic and I don't give a if it helps you enjoy the game more, then who
I like
cares,
mods,
right? So what do I actually think of Bannerlord in its current state?
This is why I'm brutally honest. So his review is brutally honest. My take is brutally honest.
If you can tell from the amount of game time accrued, I love this game. However, it's been a love-hate relationship from the start, going from
not for me, it hasn't been a love-hate relationship. I wish they would add more to the game, but you know, it is what it is, and you know, enjoy games as they are.
Hopelessly addicted to it, to driving me back into EU4's warm embraces, only to rebound back to Bannerlord.
Ugh. I grow tired of EU4, bro. Like, I stopped playing that game
soon after. I think there's enough content in the game in its current state to have a great time. The fact that you can make countless builds to try out and take several different approaches to a campaign gives Bannerlord a ton of replayability. However, given the amount of content that's still missing, the massive list of bugs that have not been squashed, and the underwhelming AI, I don't think it's for everyone. If you're the type that gets triggered easily by an unfinished product, then
it's not a AAA game, guys, so don't go expecting all the bugs to be squashed, because they're still updating the game, and there are some bugs, but like they're really minor and you can get around them, or like it's it's really a non-issue.
Pass on Bannerlord for now. The full release is coming in late October, but
it's already been released, and you should update this video, Strat Gaming. It's outdated. Like, some of my videos are outdated, and I'm good enough to go put, oh, this video is outdated, don't watch it anymore, because it might be wrong.
Even then, I think it's unlikely that most of these massive issues will be addressed by then. However, if you can look past these shortcomings, I think it'd be,
which I do. I won't say there aren't shortcomings, but I feel like the game has a lot of positives that are way better than the cons.
Pleasantly surprised as to how much fun it is. Or if you're not opposed to using mods to customize your ideal experience, then go for it. This is truly an example of a game where the concept is so amazing that the flawed execution isn't enough to drag it into the dumps. Thanks again to Tailworlds for sponsor.
Hell no.
No, I'm just kidding. There's no way in hell they'd sponsor me after all this shit I've talked.
Don't sponsor anybody. Tailwords does not sponsor me. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I know I haven't posted in a while. But yeah, this is my review of Strat Gaming, or however you say it. But yeah, guys, go check them out if you want. But that was my take. And yeah, guys, see you later, boys.